avoid deliciously. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
I think it's fair to say that all of us want to look and feel our best in the summer. That summer sun somehow does something to give you energy and feel like a kid again. Dr. Luke Maxfield is back on the show with Aspire Dermatology and Skin Surgery Center. He always comes with some examples of products, usually pretty easy for us to find, that in your opinion pack a punch.
Yes.
A good punch.
A good punch in a good way, yeah.
Yeah.
That's it.
So you're talking this morning about vitamin C?
Correct. So again, we are in the warm months. I know everyone's outside. I love seeing it. And there are some staple ingredients that are kind of heroes for the summer skin. We talked about sunscreen, and this one is vitamin C. And the reason I think this one is worth talking about is if you ask a dermatologist, in fact, you can try. You can go around town, ask 10 dermatologists. If you had to pick 3 ingredients for your skin, just 3, I would wager that the vast majority, if not all, would say sunscreen, tretinoin or vitamin A, and vitamin C. It's just such a staple that it's almost universally recommended for people's skin if they can tolerate it.
Okay, if I think about vitamin C, I think of it as being kind of a brightener. Is that the right opinion to have, or what does it do? What's the benefit?
No, that is probably one of the most prominent features of it. So vitamin C is a very interesting ingredient because it does a lot, which is why it's a staple, especially in the morning routine. So its primary function is as an antioxidant. It's an extremely powerful antioxidant. And oxidative damage is where free oxygen molecules interact in our body, damage things on a cellular level, and that's the end point of almost all inflammation, sun exposure, and other damage to the skin. And so it protects us in that way. And it's a cofactor for the enzyme that helps create collagen, so it helps boost collagen as well, and it inhibits the enzyme that creates pigment, so it helps decrease dark spots, and that's why it's thought to be a brightener as well.
Okay, so since most of us probably have seen it as an ingredient on products that we use, is that the best way to use it, or should you use it as its own standalone product?
That's a really good question, actually, because the majority of the time, if it is in a product with multiple other ingredients, that's typically fine. Vitamin C is one of the few ingredients where a specific form of it is hard to formulate with. So oftentimes you will just have a dedicated standalone vitamin C product, and oftentimes you'll get a better result with that. And that's kind of exceptional.
Okay, so these that you brought today are examples of standalones?
Correct.
Okay, what you got?
So I wanted to start with the flagship vitamin C, because if you go into my office or if you go into a dermatologist's office, you will often see SkinCeuticals vitamin C. And I want to set the tone with this. This product is $180. That is expensive. In my opinion, that's a pretty expensive product, and I sell it. And the reason I sell it is they did the backbone of the research. It's extremely well formulated. This is what most professionals think of as vitamin C, and it's good. So if you have the disposable income, if it doesn't hurt you to spend that much, you get this beautiful amber serum color. It's great. However, I think the majority of people, that amount of investment, it hurts.
Okay, but I do want to ask you something on that, because I think you got a lot of women at collagen, right? The fact that it will stimulate the collagen, is that what you said? So if you were to buy this bottle, you would use it daily?
Ideally in the morning, yep.
As a whole vial, or like a whole syringe, or just a couple of drops?
Enough to cover your face. So I'd say for most people that's like a half a dropper to a dropper at most.
A dropper at most. So the investment would last you quite a few months?
I think 1 to 3 months is the most you're gonna get out of it.
Okay, well that's a fair perspective.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, no, you bet. So that's your price point, that's the backbone. Let's say that's the premier vitamin C. Let's just assume that.
Okay.
But I think again, for the majority of people, it's out of their budget.
Yeah, that's a lot.
And if you put that money down, you may not actually feel the return on investment. Like you may see some benefits, but it probably won't feel like enough. So there are a lot of other good options out there, a lot of great options. One that is relatively affordable, I think with inflation, this one's up to maybe close to $30. That's changed a lot over the last few years, but Timeless Vitamin C, they have a 10%, which still has benefits, and it's very affordable. Again, relative to our previous option, you have a 20% for someone who's a bit more experienced. Those are good options with a very similar formulation, and I think it'll be tough to distinguish a difference between them.
Where do you purchase these?
You know what? I honestly rarely shop retail, so I always just say go online.
Okay, but it's called Timeless.
Timeless. I think this is also at Target as well.
It looked like it might be in store. Now these are these also SkinCeuticals?
These are not. So these are other options. This one, let's go with. Actually, let's move that one there. That's the wrong bottle. But this one is an alternative form of vitamin C. This one's from a brand called The Minimalist. This is actually based out of India, and they are very affordable. And not only are they very affordable, but very thoughtful with their branding of their products, but this has a different form of vitamin C. So if you go down the vitamin C rabbit trail, which I love to do, there are multiple different types. This has something called ethyl ascorbic acid. It's much more stable, and it's more neutral to your skin's pH, so it's less irritating. Classic vitamin C has to be formulated slightly acidic. It should be hard on your skin barrier. So if you can't tolerate vitamin C before, you wanted to give it another go, this form of vitamin C might play better with your skin.
How would you know if you could not tolerate it? Would you get like itchy spots or rashes, or what would happen?
Yeah, some people get irritation, so red, stingy, burny skin. Some people get blemishes that pop up.
Oh, really?
And I think it's actually more common than people realize. I would wager 1 in 5 people can't tolerate vitamin C.
Is it important? I know you mentioned using it in the morning. All these products used in the morning, I guess, but then do you need to avoid sun exposure for a little while? Or?
Nope, this helps protect you from the sun. So the general way you'll use this product is in the morning you cleanse. On dry skin, you apply your vitamin C, and then after that sets, you follow it up with sunscreen. If you want to use it twice a day, God bless, you can.
Okay.
It's just classically used in the morning.
So if you want to make somebody say, wow, you could buy them the SkinCeuticals,
Yeah.
right? Then it's up to them to keep it going. You can do the Timeless online, and then this one was called the Minimalist.
Yep.
Also online?
Also online.
Okay, now you know.
Now you
I
know.
love the fact that you give us the whole spectrum, all of it for our benefit. By the way, there are 2 locations soon to be for Aspire Dermatology, still up in Saudi, soon to open a new office in Cleveland.
Yep, correct.
So here's the information where you'll find them, besides on social media, aspiredermatologytn.com, and for now the phone number in Saudi is still 712-9301. Thanks.
Perfect, thank you.
Local 3 is celebrating 40 years of Dollywood. We're giving away 40 pairs of tickets just in time for Dollywood's Flower and Food Festival. Enjoy picture-perfect moments, live music, and